It's a very sad day. Um, I'm guessing you've all heard the news about Reckful.
Yeah.
He basically committed suicide. Yeah, we found out as soon. I mean, I just had woken up and I was going through Twitter in bed, and I was actually like, it was a very wicked coincidence that I was reading his tweets that morning, the marriage proposal and stuff, and I got like someone messaged me exactly at that time before everyone else knew, because it was first announced on the like Everland development server, which is private to developers and some people that are involved with the game. And I have access to that server because I have I have he used to consult with me in the past for the game, and he reached out to me to find some developers for him. So yeah, I logged onto the server because I couldn't believe it. But it is true.
Yeah. Yeah, Rania for Everland, she sourced a good bit of their developer staff.
The newer developer staff, like
because she, as you guys know, she taught computer science, AI stuff in Greece.
And programming stuff in Greece.
So she knows some of her better students over the years.
No, I think like Reckful at some point. So, like we knew Reckful for, like he knew Reckful before me even for what, 15 years probably. From the, like from World of Warcraft, from Exodus and stuff.
I don't know what year it was, but I joined Exodus. In early Wrath of the Lich King, before Ulduar had come out, and Reckful was in that guild. He was one of the PvPers, him, Hyped, and man, it is hard to remember, but they had a priest friend that
like
joined them.
20 years ago.
Oh, I can look that up. When did Ulduar come out? It was like 3 months before Ulduar, 2 months before Ulduar.
Yeah, and then like I met him through TweetsCons and stuff, and he always used to tell me like how impressed he was by me, had like achieved so much and stuff. So I think he just respected my opinion. So he would reach out to me for life advice.
Yeah.
And that started like, I don't know, 3 years ago, 2 years ago or something. And we became quite close because he would just, we would just talk, like on Twitter, usually on DMs and stuff.
So this would be about February 2009. So 11 and a half years, something like that.
Still, those are many.
Well, most of my adult life,
yeah.
Yes.
And then at some point, he also, after he started developing the game and he reached a point where he just needed more development, he remembered that I used to teach programming, and he said, maybe you can help me find some developers, and it actually worked out. Like I introduced some of my old students to him, and they are working on the game. They have been working on the game for a while now. I don't know what's gonna happen with the game. You saw pics where Reckful was wearing your stupid bird shirt. It was on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, his brother basically asked people to post like their memories of him.
Yeah.
And one of them that he retweeted, I don't know what it was, but I guess he wore it just because he liked it.
Yeah.
Like he said he liked it and he wanted one. I don't know if we sent him one or if he bought one.
I think we sent him one.
Okay. And he was all happy and stuff, but like I've seen a few photos, like he just wore it as part of his wardrobe, so that was kind of nice.
And yeah, it's like, it's sad because I like with all the quarantine and stuff, like I haven't spoken to him since March. The last messages, because I went back to that, the last messages he said, hey, you're in April, I'm getting an apartment right next to my apartment with similar layout, and I'm gonna use it for guests and come visit me. And I'm like, as soon as we can, like as soon as the quarantine is over and we can actually travel, yes. And I told him that he should come and visit. Like he loved this place from pictures. He never came here, and I know he always wanted to come here. And like, you know, ever since March, because we've been so busy, I've been so stressed with completely first world problems like my orthodontic treatment and crap like that. I literally was like postponing just reaching out to him to see how he's doing since March. Like literally every week I'm like, yeah, next week it's fine, next week, and it's crazy because it's, yeah, like makes you wonder if, I don't know, if I had reached out, if some other people had reached out, maybe another week would have made a difference. Because, I don't know, in these cases, like it is known that he had bipolar disorder, and this works in episodes. Like, it is a mental illness. It's not something that he wasn't just sad or he wasn't just heartbroken. It's an illness. So this works in episodes. So no one could have known what could have happened if, you know, he had endured one more week or something. And I know it's not like that it's not like that it's my fault personally or anyone else's fault personally, and I can't even imagine how like Becca is feeling. Clearly it's not her fault either. It's not someone's fault. You just can't help but wonder, yeah, could I have done something? Could anyone have done something? I also know, because many people reach out and tell me that yes, when someone is in this state, there's not much other people can do that would help. But again, you never really know. You never know. So yeah, we wanted to like have a short stream, just talk a bit about that, discuss a bit. Like, I don't know, maybe remember some good stuff for Reckful. And I can't even like begin to imagine what it's like for his family right now. I know he loves his family very much, like his parents.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had brothers. I actually, I don't know why. Like we talked about his family, like his parents, but not about his brothers. But yeah, like if it hit us and everyone else in the community so hard, I can't even imagine what these people are going through. I do know that they are safe and being taken care of right now. Like I know that people are with them to make sure that they are processing it and that they're being kept like safe. At least that was whatever I heard some couple of hours ago. And again, like don't think like mental health, especially in this community, is like more serious. Like don't because I'm seeing some comments. Yeah, he didn't get a response from like the girl, and like that's stupid. This was not a heartbreak that caused him to do what he did. It's not a heartbreak. It's about mental health. And I don't know. I remembered, and I was trying to remember which TwitchCon it was, and it was TwitchCon 2018. Because it was the TwitchCon.
Which one was that?
It was the TwitchCon that we accidentally went in the very VIP area, not the streamer VIP area.
Okay.
The TwitchCon staff VIP area.
Yeah.
Where we met like the very high ups of TwitchCon.
Yeah.
Like you can't get higher up than that.
Well, the guy who made Twitch and now the guy who runs Twitch was there, so.
We accidentally found ourselves in that area. Like it wasn't the VIP streamer area, because we were looking for the streamer VIP area where we're supposed to go, we went in that entrance, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's creep, come in," and we were invited, so we went in. And I specifically, so that was what month? October or something, 2018. And I specifically remember like telling few very high ups of tweets that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a party pooper. It's like a party right now. It's Tweets party. It's not, because it was a Tweets party. It's not exactly the time, but I specifically remember telling them that Tweets needs to do more for mental health, because back then I had some very fresh stories of people that came into my stream and literally said, "I want to kill myself." So I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? And I reached out to Tweets, and they took over. And I never, I always thought that Tweets would have some kind of story like that from like viewers that maybe committed suicide and somehow involved Tweets in that. But yeah, the story came from somewhere else.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I mostly wanted to tell people, like, I don't know, kind of like my life along Byron, because it's one of those things where there's a lot of things that keeps us streamers that push out a lot of content very busy. So it's not like we have like super close friends, but like Reckful was about as close friend as we have, honestly. I mean, I'm sure some other streamers behave a bit differently with their friend circle.
I mean, the truth is that we don't have any friends because we don't live close to the big streamer events. Yeah, we visit some events like a few times a year, but it's not that we see people much outside of these events. So our relationships with most streamers are either old from his old like guilds and stuff, or through some events, and then whatever relationship we actually hold. Like, yes, I consider Reckful my friend because we had spent so many hours upon hours just discussing the past like couple of years online. But yeah, this is what our friendships are like.
Yeah. A lot of people really respect Reckful, and I mean, I thought about it a little bit. Like, why is that? Why are some people on like good terms with him and stuff?
OG, right?
That's exactly what it is, actually. Yeah.
And not just that. I think he was also very genuine on tweets.
So
throughout that, and quite innovative in what he did, because yes, it was like the World of Warcraft, but then he also did a lot of IRL streams. He did like a number of things.
So Reckful, again, so I'll talk for a bit here because I'll give you like the whole story, or I mean, glancing through, but more or less the macro side of the story. So yeah, I joined Exodus in 2009 early. This was right after Wrath of the Lich King came out. Reckful was with the guild for a while. Exodus was one of the best, actually at the time it was the best guild in the US. And he was one of the rogues there. He didn't care too much for the PvE content, but back then you needed gear from PvE content in order to be competitive at PvP. And him, Hyped, and I still can't remember the name of the priest, but the priest he didn't raid at all. So him and Hyped were like the twos team, and him with Hyped and some priest that I just don't remember. I'm really bad with names. Were like the threes team. And
Then Rookie, Talbatar?
No, they came a bit later. So we raided Fusion. I think it was Fusion actually. Yes, Fusion. That's right, with the Z. That was the priest. So they PvP'd, and Reckful basically did raiding on the side, but he was really committed to World of Warcraft at the time because like you had to be all in just to be a PvE raider. He took PvP more seriously, and Like, the guild really respected him for it because he was very good at it. He'd gotten number 1 in the battle group several times over at that point. He was raiding only for like 6 months or so, I would say, while I was in the guild, and then he left. He basically stopped raiding just to do PvP, like, more competitively, because they went to a different battle group. They went to, like, the more competitive battle group. I don't remember which battle group that was, but we still stayed in touch. We still, like, you know, cheered him on, basically. And that's when WoW Esports was starting up. So, and it was at that time, it was about 2009, maybe very late 2009, like winter 2009, or maybe early 2010. Reckful made a website. It was reckful.com, and he actually live streamed his PvP matches. There's no, I don't think there was a live streaming service in 2010.
Yeah, that was like a thing he did. He had ideas and he actually put them.
Yeah.
To action.
Yeah. So our guild would like watch him like stream. It's like I don't think there was a guy in Blood Legion that did this. So he had his own website as well. So this is like the very, very earliest live streaming I know anybody of doing. And yeah, our guild Exodus, we would, you know, kind of see how he's doing. We talked to him from time to time. And Reckful, I think, throughout the next like year or so, basically became the most prolific tournament player in World of Warcraft. We, like, as a guild, we would watch his matches. We'd, like, you know, grats him up because he would win most of them. It took him like a few months to get like established, probably calm his nerves, you know, figure out what works for them. We weren't, like, as a guild, we weren't part of his like practice routine or anything. So, you know, I don't know that side of it. But yeah, basically that's how it's been. Like I lived my life in parallel to him. He did his own thing. I did my own thing. They were always very similar, and we'd always root for each other's success. I think I went on Twitch before he did, but he started up like his streams very shortly after. He started with like the Type Racer streams. He was like big with that.
And I mean, he started with Hearthstone together too.
Yeah.
That's another.
Well, a lot of people know us from Hearthstone, and a lot of people probably think like the Mist Lethal at BlizzCon is like, oh, that's how we got to know each other, and it wasn't even close to that. Like, I was totally cool if Reckful beat me there, because that's kind of the relationship I had with him. And that's kind of the relationship a lot of people had with him. It goes kind of unsaid, but there's a very big difference between the people that got into this space at that time. You have to keep in mind, like, Twitch streaming was very small up until like 2013, 2014. On YouTube, you made zero money off anything video game related up until 2012. So Reckful was like, you know, doing tournaments, and he was live streaming in 2010, right? So it goes without saying, and it kind of goes under people's radar that like the people of that streaming generation, they were in it just because of the love of the game, the love of the community, right?
Because no one knew the money that at some point in the future those people could make.
Yeah.
Like back then, it wasn't about the money, because you couldn't make that much money.
You couldn't make any money in most of these
or
platforms,
any money.
actually.
So it was really
Zero
about
money.
people actually loving that and wanting to show to the people the game.
And from all the people of that era, like, there's this like OG style respect that I've never lost, because I know what they're doing is for their own reasons. In the last few years, not to hijack the situation, but in the last few years, with people, the general population learning that streamers make a lot of money, that they have a lot of influence, all this stuff, it's led to so many stupid grabs for popularity, so much cheating and like viewer numbers and all that kind of shit. And all these people who are like OG, from what I've seen, have steered clear of that. The type of the average, you know, up and coming streamer these days is looking for clout, is looking to make a name for themselves, is looking to like butt into any kind of conversation for more likes on social media. You know, it's so much of this bullshit that a lot of these like OGs have completely escaped from. And that's kind of why I think a lot of people respect Reckful, because he's been in the open, he's been online, there's a history of this stuff, and people kind of see him for who he is. So it's opened a lot of doors for him, and I think he's done a really good job of, in general, for someone who is bipolar, that's probably a very difficult thing to do, but in general, it's been a lot of these friendships that I think he has cherished and nurtured to the best of his ability. And for Rania and us, I think Rania and I, we've recognized that for what it is, which is why we've had a close but parallel life and relationship with him.
Yeah, he was just genuine. In the end of the day, at the end of the day, that's it. Like him or not, he never tried to hide who he is, what's happening to him, his life, and his struggles from his audience. And I think that's what made him so respected and so loved by his audience, and that's what kept his audience there. That even after, when he didn't stream for a long time, he would just turn on the monitor, he would just sit there looking at the monitor, just talking, and he would just have the same loyal audience.
I don't know, the thing is,
Authentic, yeah.
one of the things that I realized, I guess a bit too late in life, is a lot of the good feelings you have about people, at least I tend to not share them. And it was actually Reckful that kind of taught me this, because I saw him struggling so much with a number of the friendships in his life, because a lot of the friendships in his life were fucking on stream, right? So you could tell he's certainly had some not great friends over the years. And I think it was actually the last BlizzCon where we had lunch. I think it was him, Talbadar, and us, and we talked about everything, life, his projects, ambitions, all the rest. And I just told him how much we value him as a friend and how proud we are of all the things that he's accomplished over the years. And I said that, and I said that in the realization that it's really meaningful to tell this to some people. I didn't come to realization that we felt that way about him. We've always felt that way about him. It's just
it's valuable for some people
yeah,
to hear that.
It was that moment where I learned how important it is for someone to hear that. And so I don't know. I think we sent him. We did our best to keep him afloat when we knew he was struggling. At the time, he was really emotional about what we said. So, yeah.
I don't know. He also was a person that, even throughout his struggles, he would reach out to see if people were okay. He would reach out to see if people were also struggling and if he could do anything to help them. He would reach out even and be kind to people that had hurt him or had mistreated him in the past. Just forgive stuff. I mean, it's just a lot of things took a toll on him, have been taking a toll on him for a very long time. Surely the game was one of that, because it's a huge stress to create.
Yeah, and there was a lot of up and downs, but it was not it was a passion project. He was never going to let go of that.
Emotional struggles, but as I said, in the end of the day, this is really an issue of mental health. This is a discussion that we need to be having more frequently. I hope, and I do want to say that, I don't know what will happen with the game. I don't know, as I said, he very frequently reached out to just, consult. No, what I want to say is that I really hope no one, I do think this game should be released in his memory because it was his passion project. He had poured his heart and soul for years now in that.
And it's in one of the later stages. It's not like...
I think it should be released as a tribute to them, and I really hope that no one tries to take advantage of that, because this game is going to be popular. Not only because of what happened, but because it's a game born and raised in Twitch. So in the Twitch community, it is going to be popular. It has like streamers, it's cute, it's wholesome, it has old school graphics. I really hope no one takes advantage of it in the sense that, you know, they're just going to jump in and invest because they want to get the investment back. Like, I think this
I'm
game
sure
should
that's going to be a factor for some investors. Though.
This game should be released, and yeah, people that work for it should get paid and stuff, and everything else should just go to mental health organizations and charities. Because I don't know, I'm kind of getting like frustrated seeing people take advantage of this situation. But we'll see about that.
Sammy says the heartbreaking thing to him is that there's people making fun of him on that last Twitter post he made. Struggle with bipolar as well, and can completely relate to how the negative people that he dealt with every day can drive someone down a negative path. Yeah. Asmongold talked about that a little bit, on how a lot of people who, you know, okay, diagnosed bipolar disease, but there's people who are just very affected by things that happen to them.
Wait, everyone is affected.
On these social media platforms, you know, you kind of cannibalize each other, I think is how he put it. Where if you say something like mean, but it's funny, or it's like memey or catchy, it's in a way celebrated. And, you know, it doesn't work for all these people. There's people who want to use social media, you know, to kind of make a positive change on the people's life. Or, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of reasons why people use social media, but a number of people get drawn into social media who definitely struggle with the negative comments they receive.
I mean, negative comments don't do good to anyone. Some people are a bit more thick-skinned. They can take them a bit more easily. Some people are more affected. In the end, even the thick-skinned people, yeah, they still get affected. It's not, no one is like completely
I mean,
invincible against those comments.
There's such a spectrum of people, though, right?
Yeah, but especially, like, sure, is it weird to see someone proposing to someone else on Twitter? Yes, but do you really have to, like, spew hate or make fun or mock them about that? Especially when you know that someone has had their fair share of struggles.
I don't
know, what kind of person are you if you do that? I don't know.
I think people that follow Reckful that saw that post should have legitimately felt concerned for his state of mind, not lol bro and post like their favorite.
Yeah, like my thought was, as I said,
like when I saw that, it was a very concerning post.
I felt but like every I've been contacting him a week at a time since March, and I was reading those messages before, like, hearing the news. Just as soon as I woke up this morning, and I was thinking, yeah, I should contact this person. I should contact him, because clearly there's something wrong.
But yeah, there's a full spectrum of people. Like we just said what we did, and I know how very little of it applies to me. But at the same time, I've explicitly said that countless of times over the years, where you guys are all right to like poke shit at me. If it's funny, I will actually not mind at all ever. Okay, but that doesn't mean that way of behaving with someone transfers to anyone else, right? That's not how it works. Uh, people are going to take things differently. People are going to feel things differently. People are on these platforms for different reasons, right? Just because it's okay on my stream, and it is okay on my stream, doesn't mean it's okay on anyone else's stream.
And also, it's very different. Uh, like, criticizing someone on Twitter or disagreeing with someone on Twitter because of something they said or something they've done, and a whole other different thing, pretty much bullying and mocking them when they are struggling with something. It's literally kicking them while they're down if you do that. I've been trying to read comments. I'm sorry, I'm not like too. I have been reading your comments. I'm not reading them out loud, most of them.
Yeah, that's my version of reading chat.
Mm.
Rania usually reads every single comment in her chat, but there's a lot of very thoughtful comments that are quite lengthy, so it's difficult to go into all of them. But we are reading them. Thank you guys for your words and comments.
I just hope that at least like now we're gonna start taking like mental health and whatever is happening on Twitch, at least in this community, that it's close to us and we can perhaps make a difference a bit more seriously. And when I say we, I don't mean me and Crip. I mean the community as a whole. So people can actually get some help. It's not easy for people to ask for help, I think. It's definitely not easy for the average person, let alone like a creator that feels that they are there to be entertainers in most cases, instead of burdening people with their struggles.
You think LSF should be gutted and restarted with new mods, new rules? LSF is pure cancer as well. Well, that seems to be the case. It seems to resonate with a lot of people and their thoughts.
Why?
So,
like, okay, what would be the new rules? Who can...
my point is, it resonates so well with a lot of people that, like, you take down LSF, these people are going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, probably a change should not be so extreme.
Is that really our problem now? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we need better structures for support. If it's not LSF, it's going to be some other Reddit. It's going to be Twitter. Like, toxic people will still be toxic people. I don't know if LSF is the live stream fail subreddit.
Yep. Which kind of doubles up as streamer news, but it has the live stream fails culture, which is generally pretty hard memes and pretty aggressive comments. Certainly very blunt comments. And I mean, for someone with my personality, that's fine, but the people that get implicated in it because it also doubles up as a news source, not everyone is going to be fine with that. People who don't want that type of attention and comments certainly end up there from time to time.
And in any case, it's not like someone can make them close it or have the mods. It's not tweets. Like, LSF is not tweets controlled as far as I know.
What do you mean? What is Twitch controlled?
Like, people that created and moderate LSF. They don't have relationships with tweets.
Oh, no, not directly, no, of course.
So it's not that tweets can tell them, hey, change your moderation or moderate better, and they'll be say yes, necessarily.
As Panda asks, did you ever feel that when you were with Reckful that his issues were this serious? I think we saw most of the serious side of the issues from what he's done, like on his stream, from what he's posted on Twitter. Rania has had probably a few more heart-to-hearts on Twitter DMs than I have had. I think when we met in person, because he likes us, he puts his best face on. So I think you actually see less into the person when you meet them in real life, if they think highly of you, and it's, it works the other way around as well.
Our conversations with Reckful, always ended on generally positive note. I wouldn't let it go until we kind of reached something that would make him feel better, be it about his life, be it about the game, whatever was troubling him. But again, yes, we weren't talking every day, and it's this illness has ups, has downs. It's not a continuous state.
Yeah.
It was a caterpillar.
There's gonna be a butterfly soon.
Yeah, he can be a butterfly.
Can it be a moth?
Yeah, it's like I feel exhausted today. We haven't done anything. I just feel exhausted.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious. A lot of people mention, should have got help. We should have helped him this way, that way. But what is help like?
Well, that's another thing. That help means committing someone somewhere, helping them commit themselves voluntarily, or committing them involuntarily. But we are not very familiar with that. But from people that have been through the system, it's not always the best thing. And Reckful was afraid of that. Anyway, I'm not. It's gonna sound stupid because we've been making fun of but this is not the same case. I know we've been making fun of people that say, I know why Dr. Disrespect was banned, but I can't tell you. So right now, I will say that I know stuff that I can't tell you, but it's not the same thing, because the reason I can't tell you is out of respect. More details about his mental health and specifics on the situation, on what happened, what was happening, of medication, of all of that stuff. I feel it's disrespectful to discuss them publicly. The thing is, it's more complicated than just a heartbreak, or just troubles with the game, or one simple reason. And also help is another very complicated issue.
Yeah, I think you, because I saw it in some of the comments. Apparently, I didn't see this particular
His family
moment.
right now, that is something that sorry to interrupt you, that is something that I will share, just because I know people are being worried. His family is being taken care of. My information is that there are people with his family supporting them at this time. Sorry.
Some people were talking about this, that he said one of the worst things he experienced for his mental health was when he was feeling suicidal in the past. I don't remember who called, or even if he knew who called, but basically someone called the police on him.
Yeah.
And apparently this was like the last thing that he needed at the time. But like these are the help measures that exist in society right now, right? Like having a cop go to your house when you feel bad. Defund the police? I don't know if that's like the police's fault. Like, I don't know. Is that a regulatory thing? It certainly seems to be an issue that is not quite well flushed out in society.
You really depress yourself, and some people like us don't even want help, so it can be really stupid getting told to get help. I understand that. I understand that's true. But then this is why support systems exist or should exist. Because beyond the point, I think it's very difficult for someone to admit or recognize, for that matter, that they need help. And I think also beyond a certain point, a lot of people who are going through depressive or manic like episodes, they just don't feel that anything can help them. But science has shown that in many cases there are medicines, for example, that can help them. And it's not the only thing that can help them, but yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of difficult. Like, I'll share a little bit on my side of things. In general, I'm not like ready to share like, you know, my deep personal feelings and all matters and all that kind of shit. But generally, throughout my life, I've been pretty depressed. But, you know, through self-reflection, I know there's things that like keep me going, and I know to like focus on them. And also, I'll reiterate that like people saying me and sometimes mean shit in chat does not contribute to like me feeling sad. All right, so don't worry about that. That's fine. But I know that like, you know, something as dumb as like seeing a nice movie will kind of keep me uplifted for a few days, or just honestly having a good night just playing games can kind of, you know, keep me a bit on an upswing. So, you know, I know these things exist and I've like recognized them, but I think for a lot of people it's not so simple. Well, yes, the wife certainly helps in some of these cases, but I mean, like in general, I've been a pretty introverted, pretty like not very social, pretty depressed type of person like most of my life. So like the reason I mention those things is because those things were things that helped even before I had met Rania, right? Like I'm 33 years old now. Yeah, okay, we did the math right. So yeah, like I've been with Rania for, like I've known her for like, what, 6 years now? Yeah, so, you know, it's more than just that.
Talking to people like Dr. K can help.
I don't know. I haven't really tried like therapy and stuff personally, but I'm not convinced that it's something for everybody. I'm not eager to talk to anyone about issues.
I am not convinced that talking publicly about with a therapist is something that can help most people. I don't know, maybe there are some people that are like totally open and can do that publicly, but I think that even the most genuine people, even for the most genuine people, there is a reason that therapy happens behind closed doors and it's confidential. and doesn't happen like on the street or doesn't happen on TV. Like, I don't know. Do you really think if that was a good idea, TV wouldn't have exploited it years ago?
TV certainly exploited that shit.
I mean, do we really have any popular TV program that people get therapy on national television?
Definitely.
Which one?
It's shows that don't even come close to actual therapy, but are certainly perceived as therapy because these are like experts in their field. You can see shit like Maury, for example, where people go to Maury because for a number of like dumbass reasons, but they see Maury as someone who's going to be like an expert in social life.
I do not want to diminish...
Dr. Phil, for example, yeah.
I don't... Fine.
But it's not even close to real therapy, but not all the people watching are intelligent or educated enough to realize that.
I don't want to diminish what Dr. K is trying to do with the Healthy Gamer program and all of that. I know also that he doesn't label his sessions as therapy. I know that those sessions help in the sense that they normalize, and in this case, normalization is actually a good thing. They normalize therapy for the viewers. They're like, hey, if my favorite streamer can do that, I can do that. Like, maybe if my favorite streamer was brave enough to open up to like a psychiatrist, hey, maybe it will help me. So I don't want to diminish all that. This is all important. I don't think that the actual individuals that go on the show can be helped on that show. Maybe it's a good start, but I think it needs, like, whatever therapy, actual therapy happens, it would need to be off the Twitch show.
I think, again, I think people are diverse enough that there's certainly going to be people that would benefit from therapy, and probably people that would benefit from even the public side of therapy, but I would distrust people knowing themselves well enough to make that judgment call, especially if they're under distress. Like, I wouldn't be that opposed to it, perhaps. I'm not sure. But I think people who are considering it mostly consider the side that it's, like, accepted by Twitch rather than realizing if it's good for them personally. Mm-hmm. Especially if they're considering even talking to a stream therapist. If they're even considering that, they're probably not in the best state of mind to begin with to actually rationalize for themselves if it's a good idea for their own health.
Yeah.
So I think some people, probably by chance, it probably did help them that it is in public. I actually think there is a case to be made for that. But yeah, I also think for a number of people, they didn't know what they were getting into.
True. Even Dr. K said that during his last video, with Caseytron, he suggested her going to get proper therapy. Yeah, I mean, I do feel that he is a responsible professional, from what I've seen, at least. So I do feel that he doesn't take that lightly. Yeah, you probably can see a lot of squirrels and bunnies and stuff around. They're always around. So if you just look in the background, you'll most likely see them.
Oh, we're not blaming him. I think Reckful was very positive about his experience with Dr. K, and I don't think we are in a position to overrule that. But I don't know. Maybe there were some negatives that weren't perceived at the time.
Yes, we are in the doggo pen right now. Also, another thing that I like people mentioned to me on Twitter is, and we're going back to especially the US cost. It's not cheap to see a psychiatrist. to either talk or get medication or
You know how not
combination.
cheap it is? I'm kind of curious. I actually have
No.
absolutely no idea.
No, but it is not cheap.
Okay.
So a lot of people are just prevented from doing that because they can't afford it.
My happiest memory of Reckful, it was at the Exodus dinner at BlizzCon it was the end of Cataclysm. It was, as a lot of us kind of knew we were going to take a backseat with rating. It was kind of like the last dinner, basically. And Crippy was there. Reckful was there. Most of the senior, long-time members or former members of Exodus were there. And we went to an Indian restaurant. It was like 20 people. And then we went bowling. Reckful didn't go bowling, though. I don't know why Reckful didn't go bowling. You can come bowling with us.
He sneaked super drunk and said hi to the stream. Yeah, that was on in the Archon house, and we were streaming. Most of the people were partying after the tournament, and whenever he would go to the toilet, then he would get, his stream would get visits from like Reckful and Forsen, and there are some funny clips of that stream. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Crippy actually this morning. Yeah, even about this a bit.
Crippy's a family man right now. Like they have moved away from California. He has a family, has a wife, kids, the cat or two. And yeah, he's living the family life like completely. Some like gaming, but nothing.
He mostly plays PoE on new seasons.
Yeah, nothing streaming or content wise. Reckful was hardcore with Pokemon Go. I don't remember that. No.
That's how he kind of started the IRL streams, I think. Yeah.
Didn't he start the IRL streams with like Japan and
Well,
stuff?
yeah, but he would do like a few IRL streams and stop and whatever. But when Pokemon Go came out, the dude like really optimized it. Like there was no IRL streaming software, so he was doing it through the phone. He was doing it through like a Skype call.
Oh.
Sharing the screen.
No, I didn't remember that.
It's
I
like
don't remember that.
real ghetto shit. They made it work pretty well.
Hmm.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Do I think Everland game will be completed? I do think it will be completed. We spoke about that a bit earlier.
Yeah, it's.
I do think it will be completed.
From what I've heard, it's not too far off from being completed.
He played it on stream, and they had even a stress test like a few weeks ago, a couple of month and a half ago, something like that. It is at a very good stage, like, so I think they'll definitely be going to release something. I just hope that they can figure out a way to release it without having to bring in like an investor that's only going to take advantage of the situation, basically. Why are you asking if Forsen is okay? I think Forsen had also like was going way back from like Forsen. I know many people really like him. I know many people really dislike him. I know he's had like his own fair share of drama and edgy stuff on stream and all of that. But he is not as insensitive as you guys think. Like he's a very smart person. He goes way back with Reckful himself. Like he has spent a lot of time with Reckful, did IRL and traveling together. So I'm sure he's just devastated right now. But I mean, we don't really communicate with Forsen for a good while now, especially when he after he stopped Hearthstone.
And
personally,
again, this is not a falling out.
yeah,
The number of people we've had a falling out with, I can probably count on like two fingers. Okay, so we have very good relationships with just about everyone. We just don't have the time to nurture these friendships as
when
they
we don't
would
see them
if
in
they were
tournaments.
our next door neighbor.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have relationships with our next door neighbors either, for that matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we stopped seeing him at live events, so when he stopped playing Hearthstone, we lost kind of contact. But I have no reason to believe that he is having any other kind of like struggles other than being hugely affected from what happened. Forcing.
Yeah. You have to respect, like, different people are going to take this differently. Different people had different relationships with Reckful, and different people just grieve in their own way. I mean, like, I don't know. I almost felt a bit awkward posting something on Twitter right now. Not right now, this morning. Because, like, that's personally not my, like, grieving outlet. It felt a bit weird. But I kind of did it anyway because, you know, it seemed like people really cared. It seemed like his family was even using Twitter a bit. So, okay, you know, I kind of just put it with the first thing that kind of came to my mind, right? But, like, I can't be the only one that has this hesitation to post on social media about it. I can't be the one to have it to the most extreme degree. You have to also respect the fact that, like, Forsen or whoever else who may have had a very close relationship with Reckful won't use Twitter as an outlet for this. And yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, this is not like, I don't know, what can I compare it to? This is not like, I don't know, Dr. Disrespect mysteriously being banned on Twitch, right? The personal stake that someone would have in that is not very high. So someone who actually wouldn't care that much might just post to meme it up about it. So there's some kind of expectation that most people in the Twitch community would post something about that. But that's not the same when someone fucking dies, right? The stake is more personal and emotional.
Yeah, it's also not the same when you didn't really know, but you just feel obligated to post something just because. And when, for people like us that actually, like, had a different kind of relationship with that. Yeah, I know, like, many people are, like, even people that don't know him are actually, they don't really watch or fans and stuff. I think Reckful was a big part of the community as a whole, because of how OG he was, and because of how many different things he touched, be it like World of Warcraft, and IRL, and the game development, and all of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I do feel like a lot of people just acknowledge this right now.
Yeah. And for Reckful, I think it's a bit more public than most, because he didn't shy away from talking about, like, he didn't talk about all of his issues on stream, obviously, but he certainly talked about a lot of them. So a lot of people had a very personal connection with Reckful, more so than most other streamers. Yeah.
I think we should end the stream here. Like, it's...
Sure.
Like, we mostly just wanted to share some stuff, remember him a bit with you guys.
I kind of wanted to put my thoughts out there as well, just as a one-of. It's not something I want to constantly repeat while I'm streaming in the next week. If you want to ask something when I'm streaming, that's fine, but I'm not going to go through the story 24/7 on stream, so I'll probably put this as a VOD, and I'll probably just point people to it. because I think, if anything, it's a fair and concise form for what we're wanting to share about the situation right now.
Yeah, like I don't feel like we have much more to say about that, and I definitely don't feel like doing just, I don't know, small talk or gardening or anything like that right now. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe we'll stream again tomorrow, like IRL, or like the next day. Normally we stream every day, but it's kind of like, we're still processing it. It's kind of, it takes a while to just collect yourself together and just keep doing what you do. So
I'll probably stream tonight, though, guys.
I mean, the truth is that Crip's way of coping with things is
playing games is therapy for me. So
yeah.
Well, when things go at least somewhat my way, anyway.
Yeah, we'll see each other probably tomorrow or the day after.
Yep.
Thank you for watching.
No, it is.
Be nice to each other. Be nice to people. And no, wait. Just what I said on Twitter. Like, if you're not feeling well, please reach out to anyone. Even if you don't think that anyone can help you, still reach out. Let someone know, because you never know. Just don't suffer in silence. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Spread the love.